Chapter 71. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ah, so does that count, system? Ding! The system's calculations are never wrong. Kurosawa was a little surprised. But thinking about it, it made sense. Life choice 1 was to intercept Teach and then publicly humiliate him, and choice 3 was to suppress the entire crew. He'd done all of that. Alright, he got it. It took 150,000 billion bounty points to upgrade the Curse King from LV1 to LV2, while Dark God Avoidance cost 300,000, that was a direct savings of 450,000 billion bounty points. Huge score. Bang, 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 on the battlefield, as the encirclement walls rose, besides Kazan and Borsellino, there was a vacant admiral position. The battlefield felt like a runaway train, gurgle, gurgle, the superheated magma kept flowing from Sakazuki's body. Every chunk that overflowed splattered on the ground. The insane temperature instantly melted the superhard floor. Monkey D. Luffy, son of the world's most wanted criminal, Dragon. With that blood and a pirate to boot? I won't let you live. Sakazuki's eyes burned with murderous intent, locked onto Luffy as he charged through the crowd. First, I'll wipe out your foothold. Sakazuki raised his arms, turning into rolling lava, glowing red hot. Suddenly expanding his arms, he launched a barrage of lava fists into the sky. Meteor volcano, the lava fireballs shot skyward, then plummeted back down, pulled by gravity, packing even more devastating power. Like a meteor shower, but Sakazuki's meteor shower brought destruction, not luck. The terrifying lava fireballs rained down, the sky dimming from the heat. On the ice of Marineford Bay, the landing lava instantly turned it into a sea of fire. Pirates were either blown to bits, melted to ash by the molten fireballs, or drowned in the scalding water. Their deaths were brutal. Ace. Damn it, how can I save you at this rate? Straw Hat Luffy watched the rising encirclement walls cut off his view of Ace and punched the ground in frustration. Unlike what happened before, the encirclement walls went up without a hitch because Kazan's ice was solid. Oz, the giant, wasn't around to get stuck in the gap and screw up Sengoku's plan. Kurosawa had killed Oz before he could even get close. Sengoku's plan was going perfectly. The pirates lost their footing when Sakazuki's magma melted the ice, and they were in deep trouble. A moment later, Straw Hat Luffy's eyes hardened again. He barely had time to mourn Boa Hancock's death. His brother's life came first. Jinbei. Help me. I gotta save Ace. Meanwhile, the Navy's video feed had been cut off because the encirclement walls were in the way. But Sengoku didn't count on Buggy the Clown, history's first pirate live streamer, whose Den Mushy feed was still going strong. The ultra-clear 1080p picture quality let you see every pore on the characters. With the Navy's broadcast out of the running, Buggy the Clown's livestream was the only show in town. By popular demand, Buggy the Clown's broadcast was the hottest show worldwide. Ha ha ha. Brothers. When the Navy and the Whitebeard Pirates have beaten each other to a pulp, all the treasure will be ours, the clown Buggy cackled. His goal had always been to strike it rich, but his words seemed to have given his crew the wrong idea. His men looked at Buggy. Against the backdrop of the fiery sky, he looked majestic. They were inspired, raising their arms and shouting. Whitebeard's dead. Time for a new 4 emperors. The clown's grin will turn the world upside down. Oh 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 oh. What are you yelling about? Buggy said, his expression changing drastically. He looked around nervously, scared that Whitebeard's sons might hear him. But his crew misinterpreted his actions. That's our Captain Buggy. Always ready for a fight. Even in a safe spot, he stays vigilant. Talk about 4 Emperor combat readiness. Hey, what's that? Someone cried out in surprise. A massive lava fireball was heading straight for Buggy, whose face suddenly turned to horror. He leaped in front of his crew to protect them. I'm so touched. Captain Buggy. Even now, he's still training our reflexes and combat skills. Buggy's face twitched. Are you all idiots? Boom. Fire engulfed everything. At the same time, on a wall in front of the execution platform, dark purple swirls spread like quicksand, swallowing everything in their path. Even the main wall was sucked into the vortex. Moments later, the dark purple vortex condensed into a constantly growing robot. Inside the robot, Barrett's face was twisted with rage. The fusion fruit was at full power. Feeling the power surging as he merged with countless materials and robots, Barrett's mind was flooded with arrogance. Ha ha ha. I didn't expect the Navy HQ to have such great stuff for me to fuse with. Blackbeard wasn't lying. On the execution platform, Sengoku was shocked, his voice cracking as he looked at the shrinking encirclement wall. How is that possible? His fruit can even absorb the walls made with Vegapunk's latest technology. Meanwhile, the pirate struggling nearby spotted the newly opened gap and charged toward it. Go! Through there. But in the gap, a red figure appeared. Gurgle, gurgle, magma bubbled, and a deadly heat exploded. Hound blaze. Everything was crushed by the lava fangs. No one could stand against this scorching red flame that burned everything. You losers aren't getting past me. Sakazuki's face was cold. Standing alone in front of the crumbling encirclement wall, he was like an impassable obstacle. Admiral Sakazuki. Damn Akainu, swish, an insane wind pressure bore down from above. Sakazuki looked up in horror. A gigantic shadow completely covered him. Super heavy artillery, with a roar from Barrett, a black, massive fist, bigger than the giant's, wrapped in a powerful aura, slammed down on Sakazuki. Boom. Sakazuki's body glowed red, and searing magma blasted up, colliding with the black fist. A huge explosion erupted, sending shockwaves rippling outward along with spraying magma. Admiral Sakazuki. The Navy watched as Sakazuki was slammed to the ground, leaving only molten magma behind. But the black fist wasn't much better, half of it had melted in the collision. Pada. Chilla, molten slag dripped, burning through the ground. Barrett ripped off the melted part of his fist because he couldn't keep fusing with it. Feeling the pain in his hand, Barrett cackled. Ha 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 ha. An admiral. The admirals of this era are weak. Dragon scales, counterattack, twin meteors, the dark red blood blade sliced through the sky. The ringing of the blade sent shivers down Barrett's spine. It was a razor's edge he couldn't defend against. Ding! Congratulations to the host. Chapter 72. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding! New life choice unlocked. Life choice 1, just as Barrett was about to completely absorb the siege wall, step in and stop him. Reward, Tremor fruit power upgraded to LV5. Life choice 2, disdain Barrett's actions and ignore him. Reward, handy weather knowledge X1. Life choice 3, set Barrett aside and eliminate all the Whitebeard Pirates captains first. Reward, armament Hawkeye upgraded to LV7. Killing all the Whitebeard captains first would spread them too thin across the battlefield, plus Ace was on the execution platform, couldn't risk him being executed early. Besides, Barrett was actively absorbing the surrounding walls with his fusion fruit powers, about to create a complete opening. Thinking fast, Kurosawa focused his gaze, muttered to himself, and his dark blade vibrated slightly before he unleashed a slash. Fueled by LV2 Curse King power, the thick, strange curse energy merged swiftly with Hawkeye and swordsmanship. Unlike Sukuna's spell enhancements, the resolution technique Kurosawa used amplified the slash's power significantly, but also its speed. Even though resolution was only at LV3, the near-instantaneous slash effortlessly bypassed the Hawkeye defense on Barrett's robot exterior. At Marineford's port, a black-cloaked figure hadn't moved since the war began, only reacting to Whitebeard's shockwaves. His goal had shifted from eagerly battling Whitebeard. The battle hadn't been going long, but Whitebeard was already a dead man walking. Compared to Kurosawa, Whitebeard obviously couldn't satisfy Mihawk. Finally, The depths of Mihawk's hawkish eyes glinted with excitement as he watched the dark red slash cut through the sky. Still lacking in power, but the speed of that flying slash is unmatched, asterisk swish, star, the dark red blade flashed. The instant Barrett mobilized, the resolution-enhanced slash tore into the surface of the combined robot. Barrett prided himself on his armament hockey. His natural talent granted him a massive hockey reserve, allowing him to harden it and cover his entire body. Even when covering a massive form, Barrett's hardened armament hockey didn't weaken, but the moment the dark red slash struck, an unprecedented pain surged through him. Ugh! A low, teeth-gritted groan rumbled within the robot. Barrett's eyes widened in shock. The attack was agonizing. Born in a war-torn country, Barrett fought countless battles at sea before being imprisoned and impelled down. The tortures he endured were inhuman, however. Kurosawa's slash made his previous impel-down experience seem trivial. It's just a robot body, yet it transmits the pain directly to me. Thinking lightning fast, Barrett used his strong combat instincts to shift his position within the robot as the dark red slash neared his heart. Even so, the incredibly fast slash left a crimson streak, and the searing pain almost caused the robot to malfunction. Fortunately, with sheer willpower, Barrett stabilized the faltering robot. That dark red slash, Colonel Kurosawa. Did anyone see that? A dark red flash. So strong. It tore through the robot's defenses. Even artillery couldn't do that before. To the Navy's shock, the ever-growing dark purple vortex on the siege wall ground to a halt. The hill-sized robot shuddered and stopped after the dark red slash. Ugh. Kurosawa, that kid, is too damn strong. Buried in the rubble, Flying Squirrel struggled to his feet, his face contorted in pain after the robot's hit. Flying Squirrel, a seasoned vice admiral, judged Barrett's current power to potentially surpass even old Whitebeard in some areas. That was why all the vice admirals were defeated so quickly. Yet Kurosawa faced this monster and seemed to be overwhelming him. While the elite vice admirals were stunned, Kurosawa used his 6 eyes to analyze Barrett's robot from the air. Impressive durability. He can also reposition himself inside to avoid damage. Kurosawa said softly, a curious thought forming in his mind. The LV-3 resolution was too weak for this, but it was a start. Kurosawa never intended to kill Barrett with that single slash. Let's try this, then. Technique, lapse blue. In the sky, Kurosawa extended his palm, and a blue-white light crackling with curse energy shot towards Barrett's robot. Meanwhile, the Whitebeard Pirates saw their chance and charged the gap in the siege wall created by Barrett. Hurry! We'll be blasted to bits at sea anyway. Better to charge in and take our chances. Ignoring the artillery fire, countless pirates swarmed toward the opening. Jinbe, please. Straw Hat Luffy said with determination. Jinbe eyed the man who had pulled off so many miracles. You sure about this? It's suicide, you know. Don't worry, I won't die. Luffy grinned. Jinbe said nothing more. In this war, to save Ace, he would risk everything. Phase, dusk, eye of wisdom. Lapse blue. Maximum output, asterisk whoosh whoosh, star. The intense blue-white light shot forward and struck the robot's chest when Barrett couldn't properly control it due to Kurosawa's curse interference. With Kurosawa chanting, the curse power could be summoned swiftly from afar. This was the power of the strongest modern sorcerer wielding LV-5 Six Eyes and LV-2 Curse King. Boom! The immense gravity of the LV-4 lapse blue rattled Barrett's combined robot. The incredible gravitational pull stuck tightly to its body. Then, under Kurosawa's control, lapse blue's gravity lifted Barrett's robot off the ground like a toy. Kurosawa casually hurled it into the sea like a basketball. Splash! The giant robot crashed into the water, and hordes of pirates surged toward the breached wall. Kurosawa smirked. These pirates flooding through the gap were just moving targets for him, weren't they? Chapter 73. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Asterisk ding. Congrats. You nailed that life choice. You stopped Douglas Barrett from becoming one with the wall. Star. Asterisk reward. Your tremor fruit power just leveled up to LV5. star. Kurosawa felt the raw power inside him, enough to rip the sky apart, and couldn't help but grin. On the execution platform, Sengoku barely registered Kurosawa blasting Barrett away. He scowled at the gaping hole in the wall and snapped, "Everyone, focus fire on that gap. Don't let any more pirates through." That the battlefield erupted in a storm of artillery and bullets. Following Sengoku's orders, the Navy turned their guns on the breach. But Whitebeard's commanders and heavy hitters like Crocodile provided cover, making it almost impossible to stop the pirate rush. Only the super heavy guns mounted on the wall could effectively slow them down. A figure with mismatched colors, yellow on the left and white on the right, materialized in front of the opening. Using their devil fruit powers, members of the Revolutionary Army created a massive ramp, letting the pirates easily scale the several-meter-high wall. Back on Marineford. Schwa, star. Kurosawa vanished from mid-air, reappearing instantly at the gap. He surveyed the surging pirates, a smirk playing on his lips as dark, malevolent cursed energy pulsed out from him. "Go! Bust through while the commanders cover us. Damn Navy! Kiss your necks goodbye." Izo, commander of the Whitebeard Pirates 16th Division, unleashed a barrage of hockey-laced bullets to intercept incoming shells. Watching the relentless advance of his comrades, Izo glanced at Jaws and asked, "Think we can still save Ace?" That with everyone's help, Jaws was free from Kazan's ice. After a quick warm-up, he plunged back into the fight, consumed by hatred for Kurosawa. Jaws now knew that after Kazan froze him, Kurosawa had cleaved Whitebeard in half and taken out Marco and Vista. He swore to avenge them, even if it cost him his life. Besides, Jaws didn't believe Kurosawa could be at full strength after killing so many heavy hitters. He figured Kurosawa must be weakened, making this the perfect moment to strike. Jaws couldn't let his fallen comrade's sacrifices be in vain. At the gap, Kurosawa's justice cloak fluttered as he intoned, "Domain expansion, gourmet demon subjugation." An immense field of cursed energy instantly blanketed the breach. The pirates who set foot inside froze in their tracks, unable to even cheer. Invisible slashes tore through them, turning their bodies into vapor, leaving behind only a crimson mist. The battlefield fell silent as the Navy stared in horror. The gap created by Barrett, the escape route carved out by the Whitebeard Pirates, had turned blood red. Anyone trapped within that dense, bloody fog would choke on blood with every breath. What should have been the pirates' path to freedom had become the gate to hell, paved with countless lives. "What the? That's insane." The Navy was speechless. Even Sengoku, the ever-rational fleet admiral, was shaken, but unlike the others, Sengoku quickly regained his composure. They were just pirates. Their deaths were a sacrifice for peace, for justice. He looked at the black-haired figure and resolved, "If Kurosawa's willing to stain his hands like this for justice, I'll take the heat if anyone tries to smear him later." "Kurosawa, I admire your dedication to justice." Ace, shackled nearby, had been screaming himself hoarse, tears streaming down his face. "Stop. Don't come any closer. Please." Whitebeard had fallen, and now Marco, Vista, and others were gone, family lost in the maelstrom. This was too much for Ace. Meanwhile, in the inner harbor, the pirates, unable to see the carnage at the breach, continued to surge forward. Fishman karate, sea current shoulder throw. Jinbe channeled his power, manipulating the seawater into a massive current and launching it skyward like a javelin. Luffy hitched a ride. "Ace. I'm coming. What the heck?" As Luffy flew, his eyes widened in horror. The crimson mist seemed to reach for the sky, a sea of blood, and standing before it was Kurosawa. The sight hit Luffy like a punch to the gut. "Kurosawa, *ding. Congrats. You offed MacArthur. Plus 666 bounty points, **** ding. Congrats. You iced Mombayat. Plus 333 bounty points, **** ding. Congrats. You zapped, The notifications flooded Kurosawa's mind as his bounty soared. He grinned, another payday. In the waters around Marineford, a huge pirate ship sped through the waves, a white skull with a red mark emblazoned on its bow. it was the Red Force, flagship of the New World Emperor, red-haired Shanks. Step on it. Something big's happening at Marineford. Chapter 74. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the inner bay's wall at Marineford, golden light particles gathered into a yellow-striped figure. It was Borsellino, standing there with his mouth slightly agape, his eyes behind his sunglasses fixed on the gap in the wall. The blood mist from the pirate slaughter had already reached the sky. It was a truly shocking sight, even for an admiral like Borsellino. He figured it wouldn't be long before the pirates realized something was up. Crack, 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 that with a flash of icy blue light, Gion unleashed his power, freezing the wave of pirates landing on Marineford into ice sculptures. Alala, Kurosawa, you're just too efficient. Gion strolled toward the breach in the wall as he spoke. Thanks to Kurosawa, he was showing the same level of battlefield control as an admiral all by himself. Soon, the pirates on Marineford would be completely wiped out. Then the Navy could focus all its top-tier fighters on crushing the pirates pouring into the inner bay. Is this our new Navy superstar? Actually, he's beyond that now. He's got admiral-level power. He's holding that breach single-handedly. He's the strongest rookie we've got. In the inner bay, bubbles erupted like crazy. Sea Knight Jinbei stared in disbelief. Underwater, Douglas Barrett's robot, after some kind of crazy transformation, had morphed into a drill-shaped submarine, speeding through the water. It's not affected by the seawater. Is this the same ability as Gion's? Just as Jinbei was marveling, he saw Barrett use the drill to attack Marineford's land foundation. Knock, 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 a dull sound echoed through the rising bubbles. The solid foundation supporting the massive Navy headquarters was being pulverized by Barrett's drill, and soon a dark tunnel appeared. Barrett steered the robot into it. Ha ha ha. I don't know what special material that wall was made of. I absorbed it, but only now can I actually transform and put it to use. Inside the drill-shaped submarine, Barrett roared with laughter. Thanks to the fusion fruit, after absorbing the Vegapunk-designed wall, his robot now had a physical strength that surpassed his previous armament hockey hardening. You little brat. Before I deal with Sengoku and Garp and get that secret, I'll crush you into dust. Boom boom boom, a high-frequency vibration shook the ground. Marineford was rocked by another massive shock, the biggest since Whitebeard's death. Dark purple energy swirled violently in Marineford's foundation. As hard rock and debris were absorbed into Barrett's body, Marineford began to tilt. What's going on? This feels like a super earthquake. Man, I can barely talk, my teeth are rattling. Whitebeard's dead. Is this an earthquake? A tsunami? Kobe tried to cover his ears, but realized he only had one hand. Is this war? He muttered, terrified. So much happening at once. I can't take it. Kobe turned to Bellamar beside him. Let's get out of here. We're going to die if we stay. Bellamar was just as scared. He nodded, ready to run with Kobe, when, as the Marines reeled, the shaking from deep underground intensified, the worst of it coming from directly beneath the execution platform. On the platform, with the violent shaking, huge cracks snaked across its base, the executioners were thrown around, Ace fell flat on his face, and even Sengoku struggled to keep his balance. What's happening? What is this vibration? Garp, waiting below, sensed something wrong. Before he could figure it out, he saw a shadow falling from the sky toward the platform at incredible speed. Luffy. Where did that idiot come from? Boom 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 boom, a colossal impact ripped through the bottom of the platform, sending dark earth and billowing smoke into the air. The platform prepared to execute Ace had been pierced by a gigantic drill bit that exploded from underneath. Marshal Sengoku. What's going on? What is that thing? Every Navy soldier in Marineford's interior was staring at the scene. Alala, wait, what's happening now? Gion stopped and frowned at the exploding platform behind him. Buzz buzz buzz. Golden light flashed and coalesced. Borsellino, who had been chasing, took the opportunity to stop charging his laser for 8 seconds and then turned to look at the destroyed platform. Seriously? What now? Ace, a voice screamed from the sky. Ace, who had fallen from the platform, looked up in astonishment. Luffy, at the gap in the wall, Kurosawa's blue eyes flashed with cold light. Thanks to his unlimited technique, the shaking had no effect on him. With his all-seeing 6 eyes, Kurosawa could see Luffy plummeting from above and Douglas Barrett destroying the execution platform. He couldn't help but sigh. He had killed Whitebeard and so many commanders ahead of schedule, but they were still being saved. Was this the influence of fate itself? Kurosawa flicked his finger, sending out 2 rays of light, one red and one blue, which flew out from the wall and landed on the surface of the inner bay. The pirates watched in horror, but before they could react they saw 2 more rays, one red and one blue, flying out and hovering overhead. At the same time, Kurosawa turned, his blue eyes shining with divine light, and walked slowly toward the execution platform, opening his mouth to chant 9 principles, polarized light, Wu and Mingsheng, between the inside and the outside. The next moment, dazzling purple light erupted from behind him, engulfing the breach in the wall. The ultimate record, unlimited, hypostyle, chi, was etched once more onto the battlefield of Marineford. Chapter 75. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just then, Kurosawa asked the system, "Hey, system, you there, ding." "I'm here." "Alright, can I get that billion-level bounty for taking out those captains yet, ding?" It has been detected that the host has not eliminated the new captain of the Whitebeard Pirates. Bounty unavailable at this time. Come on, you're my system, you know how strong I am, right? Taking them out is a piece of cake. Plus, some dude without a system managed to wrangle a lone back in Shinjuku. Why can't I, with a system, do the same? You ever heard of Afterpay? Klarna? Anything, ding. System error detected. The system will now upgrade similar functions. Ding. Due to the system's error, the host's request was misjudged. Reissuing reward, 50,000 billion-level bounty points. Awesome. Kurosawa grinned. I've got a system, a little borrowing is only fair, right? Hook me up with some more, ding. Congratulations. 100,000 billion-level bounty points added. Technique reversal, red is now upgraded to LV5. Alright, let's bust through the Navy's defenses right here. Inside the Marineford encirclement, while the pirates were still yelling, 2 beams of light, one red and one blue, zipped over their heads and hovered over the sea. Seeing the familiar red and blue glow, especially the Whitebeard Pirates, looked terrified. No way. That's Kurosawa's move. Is that jerk still using that? Doesn't that thing drain a ton of energy? Not just the regular Whitebeard Pirates crew, even the squad captains felt a shiver run down their spines. Taking charge was the current strongest of the Whitebeard Pirates, the commander of the 3rd Division, Diamond Jozu, known for his diamond-hard body. Everyone, listen up. Dive underwater, now. Before Jozu could finish, another red and blue beam shot out from the gap in the encirclement wall. This time, technique reversal, blue and technique reversal, red hovered next to a red-nosed pirate. Buggy the Clown stared blankly at the orbs of red and blue light less than a yard away, a bubble of snot dangling from his nose. Ha! At the same time, Kurosawa chanted, reaching across a vast distance with his LV5 Six Eyes, LV2 Curse King, and LV5 Extreme Transcendent Control of Cursed Energy, Technique Reversal, Blue and Technique Reversal, red swelled to massive size, crazily gathering cursed energy. The 2 orbs rubbed and collided. Purple light flashed at 2 points in the encirclement wall, and terrifying imaginary mass poured out. The Sandman's face, already near the gap in the wall, froze. The dazzling light signaled extreme danger, and the pirates around him knew it too. No freaking way, the potential devastation was unimaginable. Straw Hat's already moving. I can't wait any longer. Knight of the Sea Jinbe had barely poked his head out of the water when he saw the 2 purple rays. He dove back down without hesitation, moving with incredible speed. Just a little longer. Whoosh! The purple light engulfed everything within the encirclement. The ultimate combined secret of the upgraded LV5 technique reversal, blue and LV5 technique reversal, red, imaginary mass, purple, targeted the pirates within the encirclement with calculated accuracy thanks to Kurosawa's unlimited, ultra-long-range control. The two beams of purple light blasted one after the other, covering the entire encirclement wall according to Kurosawa's mental calculations. The shockwave from the purple light explosion tossed Kizaru's cloak of justice in the air, and his orange sunglasses couldn't block the purple light. This is pretty scary, Kurosawa. On Marineford, the purple light soared into the sky. The earth-shattering blast shook everyone to their core. Bathed in the purple light, Kurosawa looked like a god descending. Countless Marines stared, shocked and awestruck. Ha ha ha. I'm back. Where am I, anyway? What's that? The boom Barrett made seemed insignificant compared to the explosion of imaginary mass, purple. As his massive head emerged from the ground, Barrett spotted the purple light soaring upward and the figure radiating the purple glow. Barrett's pupils constricted. That brat. Ha ha ha. You're going down first. Barrett cackled and swung a mechanical drill arm bigger than the execution platform at Kurosawa. The pressure of the swing caused visible ripples in the air, and a sonic boom roared. Kurosawa examined the massive drill, his six eyes analyzing its structure. It's integrated with Vegapunk's encirclement wall. I see. It's much harder than before. Kurosawa. Damn it. Where are the admirals? Colonel Kurosawa just dealt with a ton of pirates, and now that devil's successor is coming after him. Boss. Damn it, it's my fault for being too weak to help. Miguel muttered, feeling useless and guilty. The other vice-admirals were breathing heavily, helpless against the force of the giant robot. Crash, star, chunks of rock flew everywhere. Ugh. Kobe, running for his life, felt numbness followed by searing pain. Belmir saw a figure fall next to him. He turned, his face pale. See Kobe. Your leg. In a pool of blood, a large piece of debris landed. Kobe's lower body was mangled. Arg, cursed power. But he was still smiling slightly, watching Barrett's drill bearing down. Kurosawa gripped him tighter, his cloak of justice billowed, a dark red aura radiating from him, and a dominating presence poured out like the ocean itself. Crack, star, black lightning crackled around an S-blade, the armament Hawkeye and Conqueror's Hawkeye perfectly combined with the sword. Darkness, divine evasion, whoosh, star. Kurosawa's dark red blade met Barrett's mountain-sized drill. Clang. Chapter 76. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Purple light exploded over Marineford, a massive surge of energy that painted the sky violet. Pirates and Marines alike stared in disbelief. An attack of this magnitude? Has one of the emperors gotten involved? The admirals don't have anything like that in their arsenal. Ding. Congratulations, host. Atmos slain. Bounty, 24.3 billion points. Ding. Congratulations, host. Maidan Lao slain. Bounty, 450 points. Ding. Congratulations, host. Lincoln Jichang slain. Bounty, 900 points. Ding. Congratulations, host. The notifications flooded Kurosawa's mind. Each new bounty added to the widening smile on his face. His concentrated Hawkeye manifested as crimson lightning coiling around darkness. Every pulse of that lightning carried explosive power, enough to shatter even the strongest armament Hawkeye defenses. Before the horrified eyes of the Marines, darkness slammed into Barrett's gigantic mechanical drill head. Clang! The impact created a vacuum zone, warping the air itself. The sheer force compressed space to its breaking point. Kurosawa's hair whipped around his face. His smile, bathed in the crimson light and reflected in his piercing blue eyes, burned into Barrett's memory. That arrogant grin, that overwhelming power, it reminded Barrett of a legend he thought long dead. Roger. How can you, a nobody, do this? Barrett roared in disbelief, blood vessels bursting in his eyes within the robot's core. Godly evasion. That move was definitely godly evasion. But how could this kid have mastered it? Barrett, a man who'd faced countless challenges, knew that ultimate power when he saw it. He'd spent half his life chasing it. This kid's technique was even better than Roger's, even if the power wasn't quite there. Are you a descendant of Roger's? Impossible. He wouldn't have had the time. In the distance, Garp's fists clenched. The crimson lightning reflected in his eyes. There's no mistake. I never expected him to use Conqueror's Haki. And to control it so precisely, to prevent it from affecting others in this situation. Garp was floored. Even when he used Conqueror's Haki to this degree, he couldn't pinpoint the targets, but Kurosawa could. The nearby Marines weren't collapsing into unconsciousness. More importantly, he was actually blocking Barrett's own Conqueror's Haki. Otherwise, with Barrett's range, most of the Navy troops would have been knocked out cold. This kid. Boom! With the execution platform destroyed, in the dust and debris, a candlewax key met its lock. Click! The sound of unlocking rang out. Ace managed a weak smile. Luffy, you're a real piece of work. Seeing Ace free, Straw Hat Luffy cheered. Alright. Hee hee. Despite everything, the sacrifices, they'd managed to save Ace. It was all worth it. Mr. 3 urged, yeah. Let's go. The Navy will be on us soon. Right, Ace, let's get out of here. Luffy agreed, his mission accomplished, but Ace didn't move. He was staring into the distance. The clash between Kurosawa and Barrett had reached its peak. The resulting shockwaves formed a visible ring that contracted violently, then exploded. Boom! Ka. The crimson lightning of Kurosawa's Haki tore through Barrett's defenses. The material of the drill, weakened by Barrett's transformation, shattered under the force of Kurosawa's LV2 Dark God evasion. Think you can handle this 3 billion force sword? Kurosawa grinned as the resistance against darkness finally gave way, unleashing a devastating blade of energy. Crack. Impossible. A little punk like you can't be Roger's equal. Barrett screamed, but his attack was already spent, consumed by Kurosawa's godly evasion. He could only watch, eyes widening in horror, as the blade sliced through his arm. Clang, crack, the massive drill split in two. The dark red energy at its core erupted into a dazzling cross-shaped ripple. Dark God evasion slammed into the mountain-sized head with undiminished force. Boom, the light engulfed the battlefield. All around, the strong were blinded by the afterglow, seeing only red and white. At the same time, greed flickered in the shadows. Teach ignored the chaos. He crept toward Whitebeard, unnoticed. Ha. A massive black sheet enveloped Teach and Whitebeard. A vortex of dark energy coalesced in Teach's hand as he reached for Whitebeard. Give it all to me. Dad. Chapter 77. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Boom. Rock debris exploded across Marineford. Luffy and Ace stared in stunned disbelief. How can he be so powerful? Luffy muttered, seeing Kurosawa's destructive power for the first time. He'd thought the gulf between them was biggest back at Sabaody, when Kurosawa's punch sent him crashing. He'd been sure that if he worked hard and kept a cool head, he could close the gap and surpass him to protect his crew. But now, he needed to work even harder to stay calm. Ace's eyes burned with a far more complex fire. His hatred for Kurosawa was a white-hot inferno. Unlike Luffy, who only suffered humiliation and saw his crew injured, Ace felt a deeper loss. Boa Hancock, someone he'd barely known, was dead, but worse, the man Ace admired and trusted most, the man who'd given him the love he craved since childhood, had died by Kurosawa's hand. And Ace's crew, the Whitebeard Pirates, Marco, Vista, they were his family. Bastard. Ace gritted his teeth. Reason screamed at him to stay calm, not to throw away Whitebeard and his crew's sacrifice. But he couldn't contain the rage. Patience wasn't exactly his strong suit. Bear, a ring of fire erupted around Ace's feet. Flame ring, the intense heat blasted outward, incinerating the surrounding marines. Ace. You're still awesome. Hee hee, Luffy grinned, watching his brother wipe out the marines in one shot. Joy overwhelmed him. He didn't realize what Ace was planning. Luffy, get out of here. I've got unfinished business. Ace said grimly, his eyes locked on Kurosawa. Luffy, huh? The smoke on Marineford began to clear. Garp noticed Ace's escape and his intentions, and his heart was a tangled mess. Ace. What are you doing, you idiot? He'd just broken free. He should be running, not attacking Kurosawa. You, old geezer. Still trying to butt in. Hearing Garp's voice, Ace froze for a split second, the flames he was gathering flickering out. Amidst the rubble, Barrett lay battered and broken, his fusion fruit power failing. All the debris he'd absorbed was expelled in a mountain of wreckage. Kurosawa stood atop the ruins, ignoring Ace's murderous glare, chest heaving. That dark divine evasion was the strongest attack he could muster with the pirate system. The LV2 skill, costing 3 billion points, had nearly drained him dry, but if Ace came at him, he wouldn't hesitate to finish him off. Ace's life card was burning at less than a tenth. He was in far worse shape. Even with his Hawkeye depleted, Kurosawa still had a reserve of cursed power. Blessed with LV5 Six Eyes and LV2 Curse King, he could still unleash 2 ultimate level moves. His blue eyes scanned Barrett. Cough. You little brat, Barrett gasped, blood staining the rocks. The giant robot had absorbed much of the impact. Combined with Barrett's own resilience, he was still in fighting condition. Even without his fruit, Barrett's Hawkeye alone made him a threat that most Navy admirals couldn't handle. Kurosawa assessed Barrett's strength, remembering the movie where he'd seen the island-sized combined robot get blown up. He could still use the ultimate devil form to fight Luffy. This fight was exhilarating. Kurosawa smiled. That was incredible, Barrett. Give me more. Cough. Kid. Where did you learn that divine evasion? Barrett rose, muscles bulging. Dark purple armament Hawkeye enveloped him. I admit, your Hawkeye is better than mine. But my armament Hawkeye is unmatched in hardening and strength. Covered in deep purple Hawkeye, Barrett's presence shifted. His eyes burned red, and confidence surged. He no longer looked like the defeated man from before. Besides, you can't use that move again. Barrett watched Kurosawa, motionless, his conviction growing. His blood surged with excitement. You've exhausted your Hawkeye. How will you fight me with just your body and swordsmanship? Boom. Barrett's feet exploded with power, launching him towards Kurosawa like a missile. It's an honor to die by my devil form. Kurosawa simply smiled, making no move to defend himself. Colonel Kurosawa. Boss. Alala. An icy chill swept across the battlefield, but a figure moved faster than Kazan. Swish, a scarred fist, crackling with power, shot forward. Fist bone. Impact. Boom, the devastating Hawkeye-infused punch shattered Barrett's charge and slammed him into the ground. The dust cleared, revealing the figure standing before Kurosawa. Thank you for your help, Vice Admiral Garp. Kurosawa said, relieved. Don't mention it. You've done too much for the Navy to let you end here. Garp grinned, glancing sideways. You've still got a long way to go. It's Vice Admiral Garp. So strong. Damn old man. Ace caught Garp's gaze, listened to his words, and made a decision. Luffy, let's go. Okay, Ace. Let's fight together. Luffy grinned, pumping his fist. Sandstorm. Fishman karate, ocean current. Bang, 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 a massive sandstorm erupted from the collapsing encirclement, carrying hordes of pirates into Marineford. Giant currents surged alongside them, breaching the Navy's defenses. the collapse of the holostyle subsided after the battle between Kurosawa and Barrett. The surviving pirates, bolstered by their strongest allies, charged forward, spotting Ace. Ace. Ace is saved. News of Ace's rescue spread like wildfire. Jozu, the diamond commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, rushed forward, witnessing Ace's flame fruit blazing. Everyone, listen up. Ace has been rescued. Goal achieved. Retreat. Back to the new world, Jozu shouted, glancing at Kurosawa, a look of frustration on his face. Fire fist. Ferocious flames roared like a speeding train. Even Navy vice admirals had to avoid the searing heat. Ace would soon rejoin the main force of the Whitebeard Pirates. Gurgle. Gurgle. Terrifying magma rose, hurtling toward Ace and Luffy with deadly intent. Chapter 78. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Oh crap. It's a Kainu. We can't stand up to that bastard's lava. Ah. Whoosh, the terrifying red figure was like the Grim Reaper on the battlefield. Everything in his path was obliterated. The scorching lava incinerated everything. Shields, swords, nothing could withstand its touch. They melted instantly. Pirates threw themselves at the advancing lava, trying to slow it down, but all they managed to do was by a sliver of time at the cost of their lives. If that, it was the most destructive power of the magmag fruit. Admiral Sakazuki. Annihilate those pirates. Amidst the Navy's battle cries, Sakazuki morphed into lava, blasting through a gap in the siege wall toward the center of Marineford. Millions, tens of millions, it didn't matter. Every pirate in his path was turned to ash. With a look of unwavering resolve, Sakazuki advanced, ready to confront Ace and Straw Hat Luffy in a heartbeat. You carry the most evil blood in the world. You're gonna die here today, and ain't nobody gonna save you. Fishman karate, spear wave, asterisk thwack, star. A massive torrent of water shaped itself into a spear in Jinbe's palm, hurtling toward Sakazuki. The admiral didn't even glance at it. Magma erupted from his left arm, forming a monstrous dog's head that snapped at the water spear. Whoosh, the water spear crashed against the lava dog's head, instantly vaporizing. The lava dog diminished slightly, then lunged at nearby pirates, turning two unlucky souls into cinders. This guy's fruit is too much. Damn, I can't stop him. Jinbe was horrified, sweat pouring down his face. His attack hadn't slowed Sakazuki down one bit. Whoosh, the figure flashed past Jinbe. Crocodile. Desert Greatsword. Crocodile's expression was fierce as he moved at top speed, wielding a massive sand blade that he swung down on Sakazuki. Yes. The pirates cheered. Admiral Sakazuki. The Navy soldiers cried out. Kurosawa turned his gaze from Barrett in the crater to Sakazuki, who was still bearing down on Ace. If Kurosawa remembered correctly, in the original story, Sakazuki was seriously injured and barely stopped with the help of Marco, Vista, and other captains, but even with that intervention, Ace turned back and got himself killed. Now, Marco was already dead, leaving only Jozu as a heavyweight fighter among the Whitebeard Pirates. Plus, Sakazuki was injured. Although he had taken 2 full-force blows from Whitebeard, his condition should still be better than in the original timeline, so, if Blackbeard and Straw Hat Luffy arrived ahead of schedule, would Shanks show up early too? Or would Kaido, Big Mom, or some other unknown force join the fight? Kurosawa's mind raced. Ace was probably a goner no matter what, but there was no way they were killing Straw Hat Luffy here, given his current state, should he use the level 6 Conqueror's Haki storage card. As Kurosawa pondered, Crocodile's Desert Greatsword pierced through Sakazuki. Sakazuki showed no sign of pain, while Crocodile frowned, sensing something was wrong. Did he use his Logia powers to avoid my attack? I used armament Haki when I slashed him. Crocodile, being a Logia user himself, knew that he could turn his body into sand, allowing him to evade even attacks imbued with armament Haki. Sure enough, Sakazuki's severed upper body flew forward, continuing to hurtle toward Ace at an even greater speed. Click. Izo loaded his guns, shouting. Ace! Get out of here! We'll cover you. Ace, running away, looked at Izo and gave a resolute nod. He wouldn't let them down. But just as he thought that, Ace's eyes widened, a red glint flashed in his eyes, and he shouted to warn Izo, watch out. Izo, focusing on Sakazuki, gripped his guns tightly, his bullets imbued with Hawkeye, ready to fire. But a beam of red light pierced his head with shocking speed. Cursed spirit manipulation, red reversal. Kurosawa blew on his fingers. Though there was no smoke, a satisfied smile crossed his face. Ding. Congratulations to the host for killing Izo. Gained a bounty of 51,000 billion points. Listen. What a beautiful sound. Boom. The red orb of cursed spirit manipulation, red reversal tore through Izo's head and slammed into the ground with a deafening roar. The surviving Whitebeard pirates looked on in horror and screamed in grief. Captain Izo. Izo. Who did that? The son of a bitch. Ah. Izo. Ace watched Izo fall, unable to speak, a lump in his throat. He'd lost too many of his family today, Whitebeard, Marco, Vista, and now Izo, all dead in battle. And all at the hands of that one person. Chapter 79. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Nice job, Kurosawa. We can't go easy on these pirates. Sakazuki yelled, less than 200 yards from Ace. Damn the Navy. Diamond shining charge. An enraged shout, followed by a whoosh of air being sliced, hurtled toward Sakazuki. Ha! Sakazuki glanced to the side as a massive diamond slammed into view, boom, Sakazuki threw a massive magma fist at the last second, colliding with Jozu. The diamond and magma clashed with earth-shattering force. The resulting explosion ripped through the air, sending spiderweb cracks racing across the ground. Kurosawa watched with a gleam in his eye. He'd always wondered if Akainu's magma could actually break through Jozu's diamond defense. Arg! Akainu. Jozu's face burned red from the intense heat. He'd encased his entire body in diamond, using sheer strength to hold back Sakazuki's molten onslaught. Diamond Jozu. You want to turn to ash? Sakazuki roared, pouring more power into his lava. Though Jozu's diamond form hadn't melted yet, he was being forced back, his defenses nearing their breaking point. Boom. A purple blur slammed into Sakazuki, sending him flying. Thud. A chunk of blackened rock, used by Barrett to shield against the magma, hit the ground near Sakazuki. You Rogers kid, really? Barrett asked Ace, ignoring Sakazuki. Ace shook his head, his face filled with disgust. No. Whitebeard's the only father I've ever had. Ha ha ha. Roger's son calls Whitebeard father. Barrett bellowed, wiping blood from his face. He glared at the surrounding Marines. Get out of here alive. Grow up and become my rival. Roger's bloodline's gotta be good for something. That's Barrett, the devil's heir. He's helping us. Maybe there's still hope. Hiss. A cloud of frigid air materialized, the temperature so low that it formed ice crystals. Akiji stood, blocking Ace's path. Oh, come on. Not you. Admiral Kazan. Akiji. The bastard's here too. It's that ice guy. Luffy's face paled as he recognized the figure. He, Zoro, and Sanji, the Straw Hat's strongest fighters, had been crushed by this guy in an instant. He should be dead now, if Akiji had finished the job. Akiji. Ace said, his expression darkening. But refusing to back down, he stepped in front of Luffy, flames erupting from his body. Luffy, get out of here. Let me handle this. Ace, I can't let you go today. Akiji sighed, his hands turning to ice, forming a massive frozen bird that hurtled toward Ace. Ice pheasant beak. Fire fist. A raging inferno spiraled up Ace's right arm, transforming into a gigantic, mirror-like wall of flame. The two attacks collided. Whoosh! Ice and fire evaporated on impact, creating a thick fog. Guess ice can't do much against fire, huh? Tricky power you got there, Kazan remarked. He blocked Admiral Kazan's attack. Ace is the real deal. Let's use this chance to fall back, Kurosawa sneered. Here we go again. Could ice that stood toe-to-toe with Sakazuki really be evenly matched with Ace's fire? Especially with Ace running on fumes? Garp stood beside Kurosawa, silent, his fists clenched, his face dark and frightening, but Kurosawa had no time to waste, there were still bounties to collect. He vanished in a blur. Fuff fuff. This is getting good. What's next in this war? Doflamingo said, his hands in his pockets, too interested to even bother with his puppet strings. Never thought Kurosawa would have the guts to take down a warlord of the sea while still being in the navy. Doflamingo, watching Kurosawa's disappearance, felt a surge of excitement. Fuff, who's your next target? As Doflamingo wondered this, an arrogant laugh made him scowl. Zehahaha. Consumed by darkness. Sengoku. The black curtain was lifted. Blackbeard Teach reappeared. His eyes gleamed with malice, a swirling vortex of darkness formed in his left hand, and a white vibration rattled his right fist. After years of waiting and biding his time, he finally had the power he'd craved. Teach felt free, the world at his fingertips. All his previous humiliations had been worth it. Zehahaha. Blackbeard. Sengoku frowned, unsure what to make of Teach's sudden appearance. Kurosawa realized that Teach now had the tremor fruit. It would be a waste if he were just running around on his own. Let's see what you're really worth, Blackbeard. Kurosawa smirked and exerted control over Teach. Zeaha. First, I'll sink Marineford to the bottom of the sea. Just as Teach was about to clench his fist, trigger a tsunami, and show the world his power, an alien thought planted itself in his head, altering his purpose without him knowing. As if this was how he wanted to act, the horrors of soul control, boom, Teach punched the air, the crack spreading rapidly, followed by a violent explosion. The shockwave ripped through the battlefield, mowing down Whitebeard's crew. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully controlling Teach to kill Oxer. Obtained a normal bounty value of 444 points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully controlling Teach to kill Harishin. Obtained a normal bounty value of 333 points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully controlling Teach. Kurosawa listened to the system notifications, surprised, *O. It counts that way, controlling Blackbeard to kill people gave him the bounty points, and with no penalties. This would make Blackbeard his ultimate worker. Kurosawa grinned, slowing his pace. Wouldn't that make things easier? Go wild, Teach. Sengoku watched Teach, who had moments before declared he'd sink Marineford, turn and begin slaughtering pirates. He looked confused, but kept a close eye on Garp. If nothing unexpected happened, Ace would die, soon. Sengoku feared that Garp would lose control and do something irredeemable, so he would have to stop it in time. Boom. Boom. Boom, the earth-shattering shockwaves kept bursting outward. With every punch, Teach delivered a devastating blow to the Whitebeard Pirates. Blackbeard Teach. How'd that guy get Whitebeard's power? Bastard. How did he do it? It's impossible. Zehahaha. Teach was thrilled by the chaos and destruction, reveling in the power. Shiryu, nearby, looked perplexed. This wasn't part of the plan, was it? Weren't they supposed to be fighting the navy? Barrett was puzzled too. Before he could think, a kick slammed into his chest at light speed, boom, the force sent Barrett flying. Oh my, where'd all these convicts come from? Did Magellan take an early lunch? Borsellino glanced at his watch, feigning surprise. Asshole, Kizaru. Jaws growled. He had to stop the Navy admirals, Borsellino and Sakazuki. Let's capture the pirates first, Sakazuki said, joining the fray. Barrett's punch hadn't done any real damage. Alright, I'll take this one. My power's a better match, Borsellino said, eyeing Jozu. Sakazuki knew Borsellino didn't want to risk facing Garp's wrath by killing Ace. But Sakazuki wasn't afraid. For the sake of world order, the cursed blood of Pirate King Roger had to end, today. Chapter 80. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At a relatively hidden spot in the encirclement wall. Buggy, you were brilliant out there. Lord Buggy, were you planning to wait for the Navy admirals to expose their weaknesses before hitting them with a knockout punch? So strategic. And you could have taken them out yourself, but you didn't. Were you giving us a chance to shine? Exactly. That's why you were holding back. We almost ruined your master plan, Buggy. Buggy. Surrounded by cheering, Buggy stared speechless at the impel-down escapees. How did these guys even survive this long with that kind of brainpower? Forget it. The priority now is to use this opportunity to make a name for myself, Buggy the Clown. He reached for the real-time projection Den Mushy, but a black-haired figure caught his eye. Huh. Buggy's pupils shrank. A cold sweat broke out across his back, that black-haired, blue-eyed, handsome Marine. Kurosawa. Buggy stared at Kurosawa in terror. Escape routes flashed through his mind, only to be rejected one by one. What's he doing here? Doesn't he usually target pirates with huge bounties? Okay, he's been busy broadcasting the war, but Buggy's keen observation skills have revealed that Kurosawa, the pirate killer, usually only kills captain-level pirates. Otherwise, he just happens to take out a few unlucky guys who get in his way, or someone actively provokes him, like that idiot Boa Hancock. So what does he want here? Is he going to kill me? My bounty isn't even that high. And I'm not even in his way, am I? Buggy couldn't come up with a reason. Haha. Kurosawa. What can I do for you? Buggy asked awkwardly. Kurosawa sensed his fear, smiled slightly, glanced at the Den Mushy in Buggy's hand, and said, relax. I just need a favor. Buggy sighed in relief. If this monster wanted him dead, he wouldn't be asking for favors. However, Buggy's crew interpreted their conversation completely differently. Amazing. Lord Buggy can talk to Kurosawa like he's the boss. Yeah. Kurosawa is practically second only to the Navy admirals in strength. And he's asking Lord Buggy for help. He really is the man we were meant to follow. We're with you to the end, Lord Buggy. Kizaru. You're not stopping me. Jozu's face was grim as he faced Borsellino in his yellow suit. Borsellino had taken the least damage since the war started. His clothes weren't even rumpled. Ace. Go. You need to carry on Dad's legacy. Leave the rest to us. Jozu yelled, half his body covered in diamonds. Borsellino raised a finger, and dazzling lasers began to form. Real diamonds? I wanna try. Out. Curious, Borsellino formed the laser faster than usual. Whoosh! A powerful laser beam shot toward Jozu. Whoa! The shiny diamond instantly refracted Borsellino's laser, sending it into the ground beside them, causing a huge explosion. Boom! As the laser beam exploded, Borsellino looked at the diamonds on Jozu's body and said, looks like my powers don't work so well against that. This might take a little effort. Damn Admiral! Diamond Slam! Jozu shouted, charging at Borsellino. At the same time, Sakazuki was still approaching Ace step by step despite the pirates' interference. Ace had regained his composure. I can't let them down. I can't fail Dad and everyone else. With that in mind, Ace fled the battlefield with Straw Hat Luffy. But Sakazuki's voice echoed behind him. Heh, a bunch of pathetic rats. They just rescued their hostage and tucked their tails between their legs. Just what I'd expect from the Whitebeard Pirates. Ace's face darkened, but he didn't slow down. The pirates were surprised by Sakazuki's words. Is this, trash talk? Seeing that many strong fighters were blocking him and that he was seriously injured, Sakazuki knew he couldn't catch up to Ace, so he stopped. Sakazuki took off his hat, revealing a short buzz cut, smoothed it confidently, then smiled and said. No, I'm just stating the facts, right? Whitebeard, the guy you all worship, is just a loser who was always under Roger's thumb and could only become a measly emperor after Roger died. Hearing the Navy admiral start to talk nonsense, the pirates weren't about to take it lying down. The Whitebeard Pirates fleet captains began firing back at Sakazuki. Huh? What's that you're saying, you stupid admiral? Yeah, a kainu. You don't think that kind of clumsy taunt will actually work, but Ace, hearing this, stopped and turned back, glaring at Sakazuki, flames flickering in his palms, revealing the rage in his heart. Shut up, Straw Hat Luffy looked at Ace, confused. Ace, the other Whitebeard pirates were equally puzzled. Sakazuki was delighted. He didn't expect it would actually work on Ace. Thinking this, Sakazuki continued sternly, Heh. Whitebeard's era is nothing but the dregs of the old era. The father dies and the son runs away. So filial. Cut it out. Cut it out. Ace shouted, his fists wreathed in flames. Shut up. Sakazuki ignored him. He put his hat back on after smoothing his hair and continued, a pirate with no morals whatsoever, still trying to play house at his age. Shut up. Dad gave us everything. He gave those of us who had nowhere to go a real home. Ace roared, stepping toward Sakazuki. A bunch of worthless sea garbage, huddling together for warmth, and you think that's love? What a joke. Seeing that they weren't running away anymore but were walking toward him, Sakazuki unleashed magma. Ace stomped on the ground, and a pillar of fire erupted around him. You don't understand anything. Sakazuki remained unmoved, magma bubbling up from his body. He was brewing up ultimate destructive power. I don't understand, but pirates do. Whitebeard's just a criminal accomplice who shelters trash like you. You can't insult my father. My father is the strongest man in the world. He's one of the 4 emperors who rule the new world. This era is called Whitebeard. Cut it out. Flames gathered around Ace's right fist. Anyone who insults his father will pay the price. The pirates who saw Ace turn around and fight back were stunned. Even Doflamingo, a celestial dragon watching the battle from the ruins, fell silent.